Having now established the 5 criteria of personhood, Warren makes a very robust claim. She claims that genetic humanity is neither necessary nor sufficient for personhood. So let's analyze this claim more closely. First, she's saying that being a genetic human being is not necessary, it's not needed in order to be a person. In other words, other kinds of beings can be persons. For instance, if you believe in aliens, and generally at least half the class would raise their hand, then usually we imagine aliens as being conscious. And it certainly seems possible that an alien would have the capacity to reason and to communicate. And so, therefore, an alien species would be considered to be a person. Some of you may be interested in artificial intelligence, and many people who are interested in AI believe that one day in the future, computers or robots will be conscious, that they will have the capacity to reason, that they will be able to communicate with us just like I'm communicating with you right now. Don't worry, I'm not a robot. But if that were to happen, then it's clear that you do not have to be a being, does not have to be genetically human in order to be a person. The computer could fulfill at least some of those 5 criteria, thereby making it an official, full-fledged member of the moral community. Additionally, there may be some other kinds of animals that fulfill these 5 criteria. Dolphins, elephants, maybe apes, chimpanzees could fulfill a few of these criteria, thereby making them persons. Again, in each of those examples, we're not talking about genetic human beings, but we are talking about persons. The second part of Warren's robust claim is that genetic humanity is not sufficient for personhood. That is to say that being genetically human is not enough to guarantee that you meet those 5 criteria. Again, one other way of saying this is that there are some genetic human beings who do not meet the 5 criteria and therefore are not persons and are not members of the moral community. For example, a genetic human being who is comatose, who is in a coma, does not meet any of those 5 criteria. Therefore, that genetic human being would not be considered a person. Perhaps some severely mentally disabled human beings, genetic human beings, are conscious, but they may not possess any of the other criteria. Finally, Warren would suggest that fetuses, genetic human beings who are in the fetal stage of life, do not meet enough of these 5 criteria. Yes, a fetus is genetically human, but a fetus does not meet enough of these 5 criteria, and therefore a fetus is not considered a person. So being genetically human is not sufficient for being a person, nor is it necessary.